South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world after the Korean War. Their GDP was even less compared to North Korea. It was a hugely underdeveloped country and had a huge uneducated population. So, how is it that a country has so much trouble? So much struggle but still has better infrastructure than most European countries, and turn out to be one of the most developed countries with such a booming economy. This is the real dark side of South Korea, a big country with big companies. But yet, talking to South Koreans, it's pretty apparent that there is also a darker side to the country's economic miracle. There are two particularly shocking statistics. South Korea has the highest suicide rate in the developed world, and it also has the lowest birth rate in the developed world. 1.2 children are born for every woman. As a result, society is aging rapidly. One prominent economist in Seoul told me that if the country cannot turn around its demographics, South Korea will implode in 2 generations' time. Paradoxically, both social problems may be linked to something that is often regarded as one of the nation's great successes: its incredible record of educational attainment. In global comparisons, South Korean 15-year-olds rank top for both literacy and maths. But this great achievement comes at a price. The majority of school children receive extra tuition at home so that they can compete at school. The cost of paying for education is thought to be one of the things that deter South Korean parents from having more than one child. And the competitive ethos that is instilled at school and the stress that goes with it is widely cited as a possible explanation for the high suicide rate. Normally, I'm a little impatient with the argument that capitalism leads to unhappiness. There are not many South Koreans looking to defect to the North after all. On the other hand, there is a dark side to the South Korean miracle, and there may also be some pointers to the future of neighboring China, another fast-growing economy that stresses education, and that it's also struggling with a low birth rate and a rapidly aging society. South Korea has shown immense character and willingness to grow in its short stint of 6 decades. The nation has surpassed several others to become an economic superpower. But there are always some dark sides to every brighter side. But with all these dark sides, is there nothing positive about South Korea? Yes, there is. South Korea is one of the largest economies in the world. It is the 12th largest to be precise. However, the influence it has in global markets is significant. It is home to many multinational corporations which compete against the best in the world. For instance, American markets are flooded with Korean-manufactured automobiles. Similarly, Korean companies are present in other high-tech sectors such as mobile devices. Samsung is the closest competitor to Apple and is ahead of several other companies such as Nokia in the smartphone segment. So, South Korea is in many ways an incredibly impressive place. But how did South Korea manage it? The South Korean government in the 1960s decided to move the economy from agricultural to industrial. But instead of helping small companies, they helped big wealthy families whom they called chaebols. They promised these families their utmost support to get them out of any trouble they got into in exchange for more jobs, which resulted in boosting the economy. The second thing they did was promise the population proper education. They planted this idea that a university degree would open up a lot of good job opportunities to make the population attend schools. The Korean government forced universities to accept more students, and it worked. This move increased the number of students attending schools, and after a few years, South Korea became the most educated country in the world, even though it only had a literacy rate of just 22% back in 1945. South Koreans are known to have an extreme work ethic. The Korean culture of extremely hard work was created mostly during the time of the economic boom by the chaebols. The idea was that it's not just a job, but a total loyal commitment to the success of the company, which comes before family, personal life, and free time. It became extremely common to spend extremely long hours at work and even work on weekends and spend time with your coworkers after work as well. That's the secret of the Korean miracle. But what's the dark side of all this? Isn't it just all positive?